all right? So I like to work on, as you can tell what this is, a very sticky mat. And there's a reason for that. You can tell this came off a roll. These all came off these 6-foot rolls. And so the vinyl, once it's cut, it likes to keep curled up. And I don't like it to be curled up. I need it to be flat while I'm weeding and layering, okay? Now, we have registration marks on here too. Those are the little squares that you're gonna see. And that is what is going to allow me to line this whole multicolored design up, okay? So if you're just joining, we are working with adhesive vinyl. This is Decals 651, and we are actually going to use this on a shirt, okay? Now, I know that some of you are going to tell me that I wasted a lot of vinyl. You have to this ends up happening when you use registration marks, okay? So, but the thing is, the registration marks are what allow you to line this all up so perfectly. Okay, so let me just weed out these little innards here. Okay, now, when you're layering, you need to determine what layer goes on top. Now, in this situation, none of the layers of vinyl are actually physically layered on top of each other, so it does not actually matter which one we pick up first. Okay, so what we're gonna do, we're gonna grab our transfer tape. You can still see, right? I can get you any higher. Okay, so I've got my purple one here. I like to work with my registration marks closest to me, okay? And this is transfer tape. I link to this as well. You wanna work with a piece of transfer tape that is larger than your largest piece, okay? Because eventually this is all going to end up on one sheet. So I'm just gonna trim this down a little bit. It's not easy to work with a really oversized piece of transfer tape. So I like to trim down and make it as close to the size of the design as I can without going too small. Okay, so we got, I think I can trim a little bit more here. All right, now if you're wondering, if you're new and you have never used and you've never layered vinyl before with registration marks, these are different than print and cut registration marks, okay? So I just made these in Silhouette Studio using the Draw a Square tool, all right? That's all I did. Okay, so now I'm going to peel up my transfer tape, okay? And this part's really important. I'm going to keep the backing of my transfer tape, okay? So keep that because you'll need it for your next layer. All right, now I'm just going to lay my transfer tape down onto the vinyl, okay? And I'm going to, usually I really do a good burnishing, and you do want it to come up on the transfer tape, but you also want to make sure that you don't have it stuck so adhesively, strongly, I don't know what the word is, that it doesn't come off when you're going to put it on your shirt. Yes, we are putting this on a shirt. Okay, so next thing we want to do is we want to put our next piece of vinyl on this cutting mat to work. Okay, this mat is really sticky. Okay, again, I'm going to put my piece of vinyl down. Now, what I did, this whole design, and again, it's a little difficult to explain if you're not totally familiar with how to do this in Silhouette Studio. It's very difficult for me to show this part of the process in a Facebook Live. But these registration marks are the same on all of the layers. So basically I cut by color, and I had the registration marks in Silhouette Studio a different color, and I told the software, cut the orange layer and these were red. Okay, and then on the purple one, I said cut the purple and the red. And on the green one, I said cut the green and the red. So that way the registration marks end up with all of my layers. Now, what you can see, this is the backing of the transfer tape, waxy side up. I am covering the entire part of the design except the registration marks. This is going to just allow me, hopefully you can see, to have a little bit of an opportunity here that in case this vinyl piece folds down onto itself, it doesn't hit the orange layer until I'm ready. Now I'm lining up the registration marks So the purple ones should be directly over the orange ones, okay? And once they are, you see now, and I have this piece over here, so it's protecting. Now I'm going to take my protective sheet out, and now I'm going to roll this down, all right? And I'm gonna pick up the orange layer on this same piece of transfer, okay? So this is how we're layering our design, okay? And I need to do this one final time. Make sure the registration marks come back with you because we need those for the green layer too. So make sure they come up with you. You don't want to lose those. That's the most important part. Let's see. Come on. You got it. Yeah, there we go. Okay, we're kind of encourage them to come up with us. Okay, so we've got purple and orange now on the same sheet. Okay, and we'll put that to the side. Do you see why it's easiest now if I work on my cutting mat? This mat's getting a little abused here. It's really sticky. I don't use it to cut for this reason. Okay, and then the final layer of my green. Now, I also am going to want to protect this down here because I know my transfer tape is going to end up down there. So we just want to make sure that this doesn't get stuck to the mat. Okay, so then we take that same piece of protective layer, wax side up in case it gets stuck. Put that there temporarily until we are able to, what's this piece? That's extra. Until we are able to line up those registration marks. Again, this time it's going to look like purple over green. Okay, and once we've got those on there, remove our little protective sheet. Okay, and we'll lay this one down. See how the orange went right in where it should? Okay, and now this time we're going to pick up the green piece. Okay, so now our entire design is on one piece of transfer.